Greetings once more. To those who don't know, I am Russ Hatfield, and I am joined by my higher dimensional twin soul, Kara. She is behind my shoulder and is also a member of Ashtar Command. The editorial for June is a serious look at a major influence in our lives called karma. And so we call this one, What is Karma? For a full transcript of this latest editorial, please go to our main homepage at HadesBasedNews.com. We invite you to subscribe to be kept informed of future postings on our YouTube channel from the members of Ashtar Command. And now, we present What is Karma? For many, karma is just some made-up phrase by a bunch of hippies, while many more believe that karma is just another name for do unto others and so on. Those who have actually studied the concept know that actions have consequences, both good and bad, in a process that is mysterious and yet fairly easy to understand. It all comes down to reality and the vibrations that make up that reality. As with everything, change the vibrations and change the course of events on a personal and global level. Much as music is vibrations our brains interpret into song, our thoughts are what is making the music if reality was a stringed instrument such as a harp. A life out of tune leads to a reality out of tune, so a few adjustments need to be made to bring music into harmony. With karma, the mental adjustments made on a daily level can become as easy as breathing. Let's start with creating a life of peace and good fortune with a look at what causes karma to understand how and why it affects lives the way it does. Every decision requires a series of choices to be made for the creative process to begin. Next comes the action phase, but by then, karma is already being formed. That first initial thought was a string creating a vibration on our imaginary harp. Each thought of the many coming at once now form that thought into a decision based on thousands of factors prior to it taking place. What begins is a non-physical law of each action having an equal or opposite reaction that may be more or less of a reaction than what was originally created. In other words, is reality in harmony? Using the above, living a life not at all peaceful or fortunate happens with thoughts of a negative nature that have a bigger influence on reality. It's no secret on how thoughts go into creating the reality being experienced. A life lacking love, for example, would present some challenging life lessons in keeping from having negative thoughts. A life full of love means that the bigger influence begins the decision process in a positive fashion with solutions sought instead of grievances. It's not a perfect science, though it is observable and testable. Experimenting with a month of acceptance of all and a love for everyone and everything should present results in the following months that can be compared to the months previous to the experiment. Decades of the two of us watching myself create the karma I have proved out the concept many times over to our satisfaction. The path of ascension is never paved because lessons are required which can make it seem more like an off-road adventure. A life of love and acceptance smooths out the bumps along the way. Let's take a look at one of those bumps a bit closer. Let's say a young person, yet to have a firmly established right and wrong, decides to steal a piece of candy from a store. The thought of the theft is already created before the event begins the process, as the negative thoughts feed into energies that rebound back as negative, as if they were ripples in a small pond being reflected back to the point of origin. It's a small act with small repercussions, and so the reflecting waves might be negligible. It's the continuing down a negative path that creates life-changing ripples. Instead, find the calm in a still surface of water and leave the skipping stones in peace. in love, light, and wisdom as one, Russ and Kara.